In the end, it was a date with destiny for Lionel Messi as the GOAT finally gets his World Cup. Hey everyone, welcome into Corner Kicks. Rob Wong joined alongside by national soccer columnist Derek Van Diest, who is in Qatar covering the World Cup. And as you can tell, Derek no longer at the stadium because it's over, Derek. Hard to believe it. It has finally come to an end, and it's Lionel Messi coming out on top with that first World Cup in truly one of the most remarkable games anyone has ever seen. You've watched a lot of soccer in your lifetime. You know the game's history. Where does that final between Argentina and France rank among the all-time?
I think it's got to be up there. I think it's probably the best final of all time. I just couldn't believe how intense and how pressure-filled that game was. It really looked like Argentina was going to walk through and win this tournament and win that final. They're up 2-0. They're cruising. They're cruising in the second half. It's just a matter of closing out the game. And then out of nowhere, Kylian Mbappe scores 2 goals, and suddenly it's tied. It was a pressure cooker in that stadium because 90% of those fans wanted Argentina to win. I'm guessing 90% of the world wanted Argentina to win. They wanted to see Messi get his World Cup. But France, they fought in there. They held in there. And both teams had such fantastic chances to win it at the end of regulation time and then at the end of extra time. They were trading chances back and forth, and it was just an exhilarating final. And then when Messi scored to make it 3-2, everyone thought, okay, that's it. He's going to get his goal. That's going to be the winning goal. And then the late penalty for France just added to the drama. And then even then, after there was 3-3, both teams had really good chances to score. So it was just an amazing final, and just being there, just seeing the teams trade chances. And I didn't have a horse in the race, but I felt the tension and I felt the excitement. There's 90,000 people in the stadium. And yeah, that has to be up there with probably the best finals that they've ever had at a World Cup.
So obviously a lot of the conversation right now about Lionel Messi's, spot in the history of the sport, the GOAT, whether he is or he isn't, but, he's still playing. While he may be done with Argentina, he's still got club matches coming up. What do you think is next for him? There's been a lot of Major League Soccer rumors out there that maybe a venture to Inter Miami may be in the works, but ultimately, what do you think happens next for Lionel Messi?
Yeah, that might be a possibility. Him coming to America. The MLS seems to be a place where a lot of old European stars come to kind of extend their careers for 1 or 2 years and just get the feel of being in America and just getting out of that pressure cooker that is Europe. In Europe, you can't walk down the street. South America, you can't walk down the street. I think it's a little bit less pressure if he comes to the United States and plays in the United States. He'll still be a popular figure here, but it won't be as big of a pressure cooker as it is playing in Europe right now, playing for Paris Saint-Germain, or if he plays for Argentina, playing in Argentina. For one of those teams in Argentina. So I think that could be an option. But he said yesterday he's just going to take this all in and celebrate it and enjoy it. And then whatever happens, happens. But I think his days with the national team are done. I really do believe that he wanted to win this World Cup. He won the World Cup. Now he's going to step aside for the younger generation to come through and do what they do for Argentina. And what a great way to just leave the international scene as a World Cup champion. You can't beat that. So I'm pretty sure we'll never see him again in an Argentina jersey, but there's still a lot of game left in him. You can see that he's still one of the best players in the world. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's up to him if he wants to play another 3 or 4 years, whether it's in Europe or whether it's in North America. Those are the possibilities. But I think the world still wants to see him play and still wants to see him do the things that he's doing.
Now, there was a lot of things to take in over these 3+ weeks while you're in Qatar. What will you remember most about this World Cup?
Just the uniqueness of this World Cup. I got to attend almost 30 matches, which was unheard of at other World Cups, just because the venues were so far away. And I talked to some reporters that have covered 4, 5, 6 World Cups, and they just said it's unheard of to be able to take a bus to one venue and then take a bus to another venue and take a bus from one venue to the next. And so I think that's one thing that'll really stand out for a lot of these reporters that have covered the tournament is how accessible all the games were, and that's just unheard of. And 2, I think there's a lot of things coming into Qatar. A lot of people didn't know what to expect coming in the door. You heard a lot of things about what you could and what you couldn't do, what you were allowed to do and what you were allowed to wear and things like that. But a lot of those rumors were dispelled here. This is a city that's really trying to become modern. It's trying to modernize. The skyscrapers are fantastic. I know there's still a lot of work to be done here when it comes to the migrant worker situation and just trying to get the labor laws and passing through that. They're trying to work through that. But I think people that come here and the people that came here, like fans and journalists alike, we're surprised how modern the country is and the city is, and how they're trying to get into the next generation, I guess, appeal to the next generation. And it's an oil city, it's an oil town, but I think they're trying to make it a tourist destination as well. And I talked to a lot of people that came here for the first time, said the same thing. We weren't sure what to expect, but we really like it here, and we wouldn't be afraid to come back.
Well, 2026 feels like a long ways away, but it'll be here before we know it. And of course, Canada will be one of the hosts. You can read all of Derek's World Cup coverage at Postmedia and get him on Twitter at Derek Van Diest.